BRB UK. Worse teeth, better accents.
Hello, and indeed, ahoy hoy. Welcome, episode 465 of BigRedBarel UK in your face. Right here, I'm Dan, I'm one of your hosts, and I am doing my bit protecting myself and others because I've just had the COVID booster, which makes me feel happy in one way, but like total butts in other as my immune system kicks in. So if I speak even more nonsense than usual, that's why. Also, Bill Gates knows my every move. Lucky fella. Coleman!
Hi!
How you doing? What a lovely
I'm
control
good.
that you were shaking in front of the camera.
I thought so. I'm an Xbot this week. I'm full on the Xbox bandwagon. Did you get fast tracked for your booster because of your age?
Yes, thanks. All right. Yeah. Nice. Tim?
Yep.
You must be looking forward to your booster as well, since you, like me, are an old git.
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly when I'm getting mine. I haven't been contacted, but I haven't had time to chase it up at the moment, so I need to get doing that fast. Yeah.
You should do that, and you should continue washing your hands, and you should wear a mask, because otherwise I get ranty, and no one wants a ranty Dan.
Yeah, I'm still upset with people that are like, oh no, we're back to normal now, and I'm like, define a normal day where a few hundred people are dying from a disease every day, and things are worse than last year, and I don't quite get... I know the desire to get back to normal. I'd love to get back to normal. We are not there yet, people. Please do everything you can to try and maintain things, as Dan said.
Unless your set point of normal is 16th/17th century, where the bubonic plague was having a wild old time. That's not normal.
No.
Don't do it. Wash your hands.
Yeah.
Wash them.
Mm-hmm.
What? Wash it.
Mm-hmm.
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
We shall continue. Coleman, Timothy, it has been a surprisingly busy week if you are indeed invested in the green consoles in the shapes of Xboxes, because out of nowhere,
well, kind of.
Halo Infinite, or as Tim likes to call it, Halo Infinite,
Infinite.
It's multiplayer dropped out of nowhere, just like nearly.
There is an infinite amount of Halo available, and that is what we are using.
There is a finite amount of Infinite Halo.
Yep.
Infinite.
Man, I tell you what I realised.
Yes.
I'm old. I no longer have reflexes. I'm just enjoying... I mean, we'll talk about it in detail, but I'm just very glad that the bots you can train against are as dumb as a bag of rocks. I really am. That makes me feel like I'm awesome. If I go and play near a human being, I feel just rubbish. So, there we go. So have you downloaded it all, chaps?
Yes. I had the kind of... So they announced this on the Xbox anniversary celebration live stream, which wasn't really a live stream because it's pre-recorded, but anyway...
Just to correct one thing before you go further into that as well, like Dan did say that it came out of nowhere, and unfortunately there were quite a few leaks about this possibly happening in the week running. I was
trying to be nice.
It would have been nice to actually go in with no knowledge, because it would have been a real nice surprise, but...
I'm trying to be nice to them.
But I had the moment where they announced it, that it got dropped early, immediately booted it up, tried to start downloading it on the PC, start downloading it on the Xbox... Checked in a bit later. No, still got some time left. I'll go to bed. I'll try this tomorrow after work. Tried it out. Started playing around with the settings on the PC. Got it all lovely, running smooth, buttery frame rate, and went, "Yep, I'm all good." Boot it up on the Xbox. Server wasn't connecting for some reason. Tried it the next day. Server wasn't connecting for some reason. Tried it the next day. Played for a little bit.
Did you accidentally load Forza Horizon 5? Did you load Forza Horizon 5 by mistake? Because that seems...
No, but I did. But I'm having a weird... the PC issue's fixed, by the way. I'm having a cross-play issue with that where... a cross-save issue with that where if I play it on the PC and then start playing on the Xbox, it goes, whoa, your save's weird. Don't know if I can... not sure if I want to download this save that you've been doing.
If you go straight from one to the other, it does poop the bed a bit. I found that with other cross-play games. If you go and make a cup of tea in between, it seems to be...
Oh, okay. No, I'm talking like next day, but... Anyway.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well,
but I found the hard crashing issue, and after reinstalling it 3 times and doing all these different things that Playground Games themselves put out on a forum to try to sort out...
Playground? 343?
Is it Playgrounds? No, I'm talking about Forza.
Forza, right, sorry.
Yeah, I figured out what the problem was. All I had to do was right-click and run as admin. and that stopped the
old
crashing.
solution.
Anyway, for Halo's working really well. I'm really liking that. I was surprised.
I have a question.
Yes.
You say it's working really well on the PC. Lots and lots of people are having real serious problems running it on PC. In terms of always the fun of saying that, hey, you're running it on Windows, and it tells you, another Microsoft product, and it tells you that you are running an incompatible operating system. That's a good one. People are having issues with like it tanking to low 20s or 30s FPS, sometimes just not running at all, and people having to uninstall, reinstall Halo, C++, libraries, all that kind of stuff, trying to get it to work. So I think
maybe all the troubleshooting I did for Forza preempted all the trouble I was about to have with Halo, and I've accidentally done all the work to make it work.
Yes, and I'll refer you to previous week's comments from, I believe, Dan, where you were saying, like, with the fact that there's so many different variations of PC side of things, I think testing is even harder in current environments, especially testing different variations of things. So I can see why that's an early teething problem that will hopefully go away as we sort of work kinks out. It seems that already...
the only problem I had was I booted it up and went, oh, that's a bit blurry. What's going on with these settings? I had a look at the settings, and it was still very... And then the screen went dim, and I went, oh, I haven't switched on the bloody power for the laptop. So if you do that, then it goes into battery saver mode, and not everything runs fully yet. So plugged it back in, switched it on, rebooted, started it again. Oh, that looks lovely.
Can I just congratulate you on being the best at computers, Coleman?
Yeah. Stuck in the high texture pack, looks lovely.
Okay. Because I partially through just being busy anyway, but also through some experience of these things, I didn't even try and play on the first night. I was just like, right, I'll just leave that downloading. I'll come back to that tomorrow. And I think it's got a fairly healthily extensive training mode. I think that was quite good. The academy stuff that it's got there as well gets you into the game, gives you a nice feel for being able to test out all the weapons with the actual weapon drills.
Gives
some
you a nice
dreadful voice acting.
Yeah, all right. It gives you a nice little tease for the main story campaign as well.
Yeah, kind of want to see where some of those new weapons come into the mix and who's carrying them and stuff like that. But yeah, I think from what I've seen, there's some weapons that I'm still very much getting used to and feel slightly inferior to some of the ones that I am more used to. But yeah, the weapon set overall seems good. As I said, there's those weapon drills that takes you through each weapon and kind of gives you a little challenge to do with little 3-star challenges that you can go and try and compete in. And then there's like bot matches where you can kind of train yourself, as Dan was saying, there's bots to play against, and it's a kind of nice way to ease you in and stuff like that. I know I mentioned it earlier. I mean, they are, in my experience, the bots are dumb as rocks. They really are stupid. And you can still get caught off guard if you're being lax or getting lazy or just get run out of ammunition or.
If that is the basic training level of Spartans, this is why we've lost the universe to bad man.
Well, I think that's
also probably why they get confused about stepping in a puddle and instantly fall over and die.
No, I think the training bot level is set to Marine. You can actually go in and in the training mode set different options as well. So you can set different levels that you're on, but then you can also set the level of, I think you go from ODST to Spartan as well, basically, is the 2 levels above Marine. And then there's various other sort of options you can fiddle with in the training mode that's separate to the bot mode as well. So as I said, there is quite an extensive thing to get, even in the multiplayer. If you're not interested in playing online or with other people, even with friends, then there is enough for you to go in and mess around with and just have a fun session on your own, playing against bots and checking out the weaponry. So even if you're not interested in the multiplayer, I think the multiplayer is worth downloading and having a look at, especially if you're on Game Pass and have access to it anyway, basically.
I mean, I must say, I think joking aside, it is nice that they've done that, because I don't know about you, I know lots of people play competitive first-person shooters to chill. It actually generally these days stresses me out. I'm so bad at this game. I'm making this more work than is necessary for my team. I wouldn't say it's a fun and rewarding experience. But the one thing I think Halo does do, or Halo Infinite, this multiplayer early look, whatever they're calling it, does do a good job of introducing you to the various weapon archetypes. Yeah. I also like the subtle stuff that they've done with letting you know if you've landed a headshot or not, like the different zones of shielding flash on a Spartan when you hit them. I think they've done a lot of really nice subtle UI stuff to really kind of help you kind of be the best that you can be. I mean, I'm still very early on in my own personal training montage. I've got some way to go before I think I can be allowed out on the internet.
They do say that it's still in beta, even though it's ostensibly out for everyone. But I think that partly is the technical side of things and getting a few things in line. And I think they already said they're making slight changes to the progression. The Battle Pass system, which
it's very slow.
Slow.
Yeah, I am tempted by. The one thing I haven't seen about, like, anyone that doesn't know, basically the whole multiplayer portion is free to play. You don't have to pay anything to get access to anything. Everything that you do get from the Battle Pass seems to be all cosmetics and just changes to your background and changes to your armor and changes to your
unless you get the more expensive Battle Pass, which I think is like another £7 on top, which gives you XP boosts.
Ooh.
Yes, but that's just leveling up boosts, basically. Yeah, so it doesn't give you
how you augment your EP. But in all of glorious ways, that £7 will let you do that.
Yeah, but as far as I understood that would just make the cosmetic things unlock faster. No? Yeah. Like none of those things would give you access to a. That's all. Yes, but it doesn't give you an advantage over anyone
make you stronger.
That hasn't paid for the game, which I think is a good way of doing things. This is one of the first games where I've been like, okay, I really like what they're offering here without getting into spoiler territory, but generally I kind of think the overall package is really entertaining and good. And this is the first time I'm like, I'm kind of tempted to pay for the Battle Pass. The one thing I will say is, though, that like you, I have already learned, I'm old. I need to play with fellow old people. And I've been playing with some friends, and that's been good. And even then, I'm not on the level of some of the people I'm playing with. But we were playing some like 2-on-2 matches that went like really close and down to the wire. We had a tie that went into overtime that then tied. We were that close, kind of thing. And it does some nice things to like balance up the teams when you're kind of just playing 2-on-2. It kind of goes, all right, these two people are the best kind of pairing, but we'll mix it up a bit as well. It never paired myself with my other friend, who were the two weaker players out of the four of us. But it mixed things up and kept things interesting. And I really enjoyed the multiplayer that I had there. I think it's the most fun I've had in an online shooter for some time, basically. Yeah, I enjoy the experience. I think it's really polished. I think there's a lot to it. I think it feels like Halo is very enjoyable again. And they've made some tweaks and balances over the stuff that at least from what I've seen from the previous Halos, I'm not the biggest Halo expert, but I have been a fan of the series since Combat Evolved. And this, to me, the people that I were playing with, and that probably helped a bit, but the people I was playing with were people that I haven't really played since, like, maybe Halo 2 kind of thing. It really reminded me of the best of Halo, basically. It seemed like a better version of what I remembered, kind of thing, and that's what I want from Halo, basically.
And from what I felt, they've done a really good job of fine-tuning the weapons, particularly. Certainly, like the assault rifle now actually feels like you're firing something other than wads of paper at your enemies in terms of actually being able to do anything with it. And I also really like the kind of the stuff that was first introduced in Reach, but they're now really kind of doubling down on. We saw a bit of it in Halo 4 and also obviously Halo 5 as well. It's kind of like the augmentations of your armor, like the additional abilities. Like there's kind of almost a Titanfall-esque grapple that you can use.
The grapple hook is really good, really interesting. Like anything in the game where you're like, could I possibly use it to do this? You can probably do that with it, like bringing objects closer to you, dragging yourself to a person so you can punch them, like grabbing vehicles, like it. Yeah, and even though it sounds like something that's going to be just used for traversal, it has actually got a lot of applications you can use in combat as well, which I think is really fun.
But I think they've done really, really well to add those new things, yet still make it feel like Halo.
Yeah.
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 Oh, that's all right. I was just going to say that I've never been into Halo. I've only just started playing the old games now. I have played through 3 before, and I used to play 3 on multiplayer with my friends, but that was only because every time we play it, we want to play a game. Yeah, let's play Halo 3. Halo 3. So I kind of reluctantly play it. I've never been good at it. But I think thanks to getting into Destiny and Destiny 2, and also the game, multiplayer feels very... yes, that is your fault. And also the multiplayer feels very Titanfall 2, just without the Titans. So and I've really enjoyed... Yeah, just full. Or Apex Legends,
we call it autumn in this country, Dan.
Yeah, exactly. They're doing the seasonal thing like in Horizon now. Nice.
And I really enjoyed
spring.
Yeah, I really enjoyed that multiplayer. So it's quite nice jumping into this game thinking, I'm going to get some capture. I'm just going to get my ass handed to me, and it's going to be really bad capture. But sometimes I win. Sometimes I do all right. Sometimes I can hold the skull for more than 30 seconds and not die. It's pretty good.
I mean, I think the trick is finding a bunch of like-minded friends whose skill level is similar to yours. Like some of the people I regularly play Destiny with are orders of magnitude better at the game than me. And obviously, matchmaking happens at their level. And I just stand in the corner, just happily making burbling noises to myself and telling myself I've done great because I was there and I helped and everything. But I
got a little D for Destiny dunce hat on, yeah.
I have. It's great. I love it. But I mean, I think it's the proof to some extent is going to be in the pudding, and I think they've done really well landing this as well as they have. Without kind of I know they did kind of test flights of Halo Infinite, stuff like that, but considering that this is the first time it's been out there for as many people, I actually think they've done and everyone's expectations these days at things that are perfectly balanced from the get-go. Yeah, there's still some things there, but I think they've stuck the landing pretty well with Halo Infinite.
As we've alluded to it a couple of times already, I'm going to mention the sort of campaign that I've mentioned a few times before. I don't understand why we don't have this as a thing now, especially when it's been proved in esports. You get to a certain age and you are no longer a competitive esport, right? And that's at like what, age 25?
You are no longer a competitive esport, Tim. You are no.
I'm a competitive esport.
I am the MLG for the esport of Dan.
But you know what I mean? Like
I'm competitive esports.
You get to the age of 25 and esports.
So's my wife.
Retire generally. Kind of thing. I think 25 is quite old for someone playing competitive esports. But
I mean, I just take solace in the fact there's still 40-year-olds driving around in F1.
Yeah,
that makes me happy.
But what I don't understand is why for competitive first-person shooter games especially, there isn't age classes in terms of I want to battle other people in my age group, please, kind of thing.
Like, you should do a little reaction test ahead of time. It's just like, does your brain go out and grab a sandwich before it lets your arms know that it should do something about the fact you're about to be shot in the head?
No, but I think your age is linked to your profile. So you could just have, like, I want to play with people within 10 years of my age or something kind of thing. And just have a...
Yeah, but then...
You just know people are going to abuse that.
Yeah, couldn't some 13-year-old with ridiculous reflexes just go, oh, I'm 40. Yeah, that's the ticket.
Maybe it just needs a question to ask them if they still have hopes and dreams.
You tell me how many teenagers...
They go, fuck off to the other block.
You tell me how many teenagers want to pretend to be a 40-year-old man.
If it will mean that they can grind out their battle pass, yeah, they will do that.
Tim, people spend money on cheat bots so they can fire through walls and stuff in games.
I'm not saying it won't happen.
For free, change your age on a profile.
It will happen less than it does presently.
I mean, there was a really good article I forget where it was. I read it over the weekend. Someone actually saying exactly that oh my god, I'm old. I really wish games had a lobby system that were age based. So I've been saying
it for years.
Yeah, but it's true. I mean,
more in relation to esports.
None of us have kids. But I'd imagine if you do have kids, your free time is even more precious to you. And the last thing you want, I personally find competitive first-person shooters, I do not generally consider them a fun time, particularly because I realise my skill is fairly low, and it just stresses me out. It just triggers me. For some people, I know it's not the case, but you're right. I think it would be nice to find a way. I mean, either you can probably self-select to some degree.
Yes, we could just have an over 40s gamer night, basically. No Colemans allowed.
Yep. Bloody hit. All right. You laugh. How about you one day, Sonny Jim?
Yeah. You'll go old and bald and grey.
Oh wait. Well, no, I'm old, you're grey, Coleman's bald. We're like... Between the three of us, we are one complete old person.
Yes.
But I'll always be the youngest.
You'll be the youngest old person in the retirement home.
Yeah. I weirdly, because I've never been into competitive shooters, and that's only a thing later in life I've started getting into, so I don't know. Maybe I'm Benjamin Buttoning on my tastes.
Wow.
You've got a picture of you in the attic, and you're getting slowly better at first-person shooters.
Unfortunately, that means
a picture of my attic is getting better looking.
Yeah. Unfortunately, that means if that's the case, you're going to be really enjoying the wonderful products VTech has to offer in about 10 years and not understand first-person shooters.
Excellent. Love it.
Excellent.
Halo Infinite. It's free to play, so everyone go give it a go, and then get ahead ready for the main game to release in December.
Oh, not going to happen.
But yeah,
it's coming out.
It's a fun time. They're
not doing what they did last year.
We also, when in our play sessions, we also had 2 Spurs players playing 2 Arsenal fans as well, and we had some really close matches when that was the case, and it was really good. So yeah,
great.
Had a really good time with Halo.
I
really enjoyed it. Can't wait to play some more. So yeah, I encourage some Big Red Barrel people to jump on as well, especially if you're over 40. But generally, let's get some Big Red Barrel people together and play some Halo.
I picked Bleezy on my team.
Yep.
I hear he's quite good at Halo.
I will make a cup of tea. I will commentate. How's that?
Yeah.
I can
there
commentate. There we go.
I was noticing that there's the server, maximum service, the amount of people you can have on one server seem to be 28. But I think the biggest teams were 12 on 12, so I'm guessing they've put in a couple of extra people for commentators.
Or that's the subs bench. That's where you're the last to get picked. Okay. So I look forward to sitting next to you two suckers.
We'll just be sat on the top bench.
So there we go. So Halo Infinite. The multiplayer beta's out. Try it. It's fun times. It will cost you nothing unless you go for the battle pass. It does sound like they are going to be tweaking unlocks and the rate at which they occur. But of course, all of the top awesome shiny goodies are locked behind the thing you need to pay for. So,
I will just one quick add to that, because that is the one thing that I really don't like about the game is you play a match and you play like quick play, and then it goes, oh, you lost this game, but here's 100 XP. Oh, you won the game. Here's 100 XP. You want to play ranked mode? That seems to be right. That says that's the one I got to go into level up. Right, ranked mode. Let's do this. You won ranked mode. Here's 100 XP. What the hell?
Basically,
give me more.
I think doesn't that
fly
change
up in your early levels and then slowly start going down to kind of get people hooked in?
Doesn't that change when you buy the battle pass? I believe as well. No,
I have no idea.
I'm not sure, but
no idea. I'll probably cave at some point if I stick with it long enough.
I am tempted to try, especially as it doesn't run out. Despite the fact they call it a season, it's that is in itself infinite. You can just go back to it.
Something that I really wish they do with Sea of Thieves.
Yeah. The game is not infinite, but the seasons are.
If they went on, if Sea of Thieves, if Rare went, hey, all those plunder passes you bought on different seasons, will let you just keep on playing them until you're done with them to get to completely level them out. I'd be very happy with that, but I don't think they're going to do that somehow.
Oh.
Anywho, I've been playing Riders Republic. I spoke about it briefly last week. It is a sports game, extreme sports game that kind of.
Cool. Hey, that sounds gnarly, dude.
It is gnarly, bro.
Is it gnarly?
Bruh. It is.
Wow, cool. What the
heck? It's totally tubular.
Is it? Brilliant. Love it. I love it when things are totally tubular.
I have a question.
Same Ubisoft. Yep. Okay.
Rider wingsuit.
Who the hell cares?
It depends. if you can ride someone wearing a wingsuit.
That wasn't my question.
I didn't even pay attention. What were you saying?
I mean, it's a riders' republic. It's a republic of riders. Do you ride a wingsuit? Because that's one of the 6 things that you could do. And
well, you ride the wind.
Okay.
Ride like the wind, Bullseye.
Not like the wind, but you do ride the wind. I'll give you that.
That too. Right, so this is from the same studio that made Steep, and where Steep couldn't really decide if it was a very overly silly game or a very serious game, which the Olympics expansion probably didn't help with that. They've gone all out with, hey, we're going to make the silly, fun sports game. And how do you do that with your sequels or spiritual sequels to previous games? You put neon colours in there, paints and dusts and stuff flying around everywhere.
Everything,
you do.
Awesome.
Yeah, I think Rage 2 and Forza Horizon 5. So they've gone that route. And similar to Forza Horizon 5, it's a series of races and kind of score-based systems, different modes to play through, and you can run through and you hit Y to go, or triangle in the PlayStation's case, to go reverse time if you make a mistake. And in some cases that works in your favor, and in some cases it doesn't. The further you go on, you'll find if you go backwards in a race, the race will carry on going without you while you're going backwards.
Isn't it?
It will, only in certain races though. In some, it will reverse everyone at the same time. And in the offline ones, obviously. Yeah. And then in some things, like you might be doing a score attack type thing, and then you'll get part way through and you'll reverse because you made a mistake, and then it will knock that off your score.
That'd be a really fun thing. In principle, that everyone has one rewind in a race. And when you hit it, everyone rewinds.
I'd abuse that.
That would get really annoying.
But you only get one.
Yeah, I do it on the starting line.
Yeah,
every time.
Wow! Not only is that tactically the wrong place, but you, sir, are a dickhead.
Yeah, that's the whole point. Anyway, so yes, the big selling kind of hook of this is in Riders Republic, you don't just do one kind of thing; you do several types of things. So you can ride a bike, you can
ride a wingsuit.
You can do a wingsuit, a rocket wingsuit. You can do like a parachute with a big fan sticking out the back of it.
Yeah, you don't really ride a parachute either, do you?
You can do a snowmobile.
You ride that.
Yeah. Yeah, snowboard, skis. There's quite a few things to unlock throughout the game. And you can switch them out on the fly when you're in this open world kind of hub area while you're making your way to your races, a bit like Forza Horizon 5. Right. And then in the game itself, you can have specialist races that are very similar to, I don't know how much you played of the Crew 2. I'm assuming not a lot or none.
A bit.
Not much.
But they had races,
and
the big thing of Crew 2 was... Yeah. Apparently it's doing really, really well. It's got this weird cult following now. But
Bleezy playing 180 hours.
Not anymore. Halo's come out.
Special races within the Crew 2 where you could be driving along and then you'll hit a ramp and then suddenly you'll be in a plane and then you go from the plane over a body of water and then it will turn into a boat and fall down and you're in a speedboat. So it's similar to that. You'll launch yourself off a ramp into the sky and then suddenly you'll be in a rocket wingsuit.
Turducken situation again.
No, it's not a boat inside a thing. It just turns into
it's not a car inside. It's not a car inside a boat. Inside a plane. Oh, okay.
Very similar to, again, Forza Horizon. It does the whole thing of it's constantly throwing unlocks at you, so it gives you a lot more incentive to keep playing through and try and better yourself and get through all the races and stuff before you start trying to actually master the races, because you get point scores and stuff to say that you've definitively beaten a race or not.
So hang on, quick question. So can you race different kind of gnarly things? Let's say wingsuit versus snowmobile. Are there any courses where you can both of you have a different route you need to take, but you're racing one another?
If there is, I've not seen it, but there's
that would be cool.
It's more so the similar thing to, again, Forza, where you'll be on your bike riding along and then all of a sudden you'll see wingsuits going over you of other players doing a different race or something.
You gnarly scamps.
Yeah. Or it could just be AI doing it to look like it's other players.
I still call them gnarly scamps.
It kind of boasts how many people you can have online, and when you take a look at the map, there's like 1,000 white dots all over this map that are meant to be live players playing the game, but they're not all in the same server. You can fly around in a wingsuit and suddenly you'll go, oh, there's a lot of people on this map, but they're not actually appearing below me, and it's because, it's just showing you concurrent players at one time, not in the same space. But still, it looks impressive when you put a load of dots on a map and go, see them, they're people, them. But the game itself, it is fun. It handles really, really well, which was my problem with Steep when I first started playing, which they did solve along the way, was the control system didn't feel as responsive as I'd like it to be in my kind of extreme sport type games. And
Nerdy.
This one, it feels really, really good to play. The only problem I had with this was because I got into this thinking, man, this is a really good game. I'm going to be playing the holy hell out of this. Can't wait to level up and get all my characters and get all my cool gear and that. Maybe I'll invest in the season pass and get some extra bits for this game. I'm going to really get Forza's out. It's really good. Damn. You may have guessed, as we dedicated the entire show to Forza last week, Forza kind of blew it out the water in the same kind of way that Halo might be doing to Battlefield.
Yeah.
So
I must say, I know Battlefield's out, and if you've got Game Pass, you can play a couple of hours of it, courtesy of the EA Play crossover stuff.
And if you got 70 quid, you can buy it instead of playing a free-to-play Halo game.
I mean, it's kind of, again, perhaps because I'm an old git, it's kind of passed me by. I suppose I should really dip my toe in the water of Battlefield.
I've not heard good
point.
Things.
No, I haven't heard good things either. But
I was all set to pick it up and do some BRB nights and stuff with it. I was going to go, this is my first Battlefield game. I'm going to get reet into this one. And then
you're going to get what?
One reet.
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 Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Reet into this one. And then slowly from the beta to the release of the game, just seeing all the problems with this title that people have been reporting. And went, maybe I'll wait till it goes down in price and there's possibly fixes to the game.
Well, it will inevitably, with the EA Play stuff, eventually show up via Game Pass anyway, so just hold your horses.
Yeah, I can't help but mention once more with Riders Republic that my deliberate strategy with it is I'm still not sure what to do about Ubisoft games at the moment, but I'm definitely not buying any of them on day of release. Can add Activision Blizzard to that list, even though I wasn't that likely to buy any of their games anyway. But we'll come to that later.
Hold your horses.
But
we're going to get to that in a minute.
I do think there is a very strong chance that Riders Republic is going to be on sale in Black Friday sales coming up as well. So
there is that.
What a time to be alive!
Yeah.
Exactly the same as I said last week. I think if you, for whatever reason, can't play the latest Forza game and you want that itch, it does share a lot of similarities with Forza, even though you're not driving around in cars, tooting about. Yeah, it's like the extreme sports version of Forza Horizon, and it is a really good fun game.
Yes,
I have no idea who else is playing it, so I don't know who to play with. But playing with randos is fine at the moment.
Yeah, and I think you said you're playing on PS5, yeah?
Yes.
Yeah, so I'll look to pick it up on the same at some point as well, just to be able to play with you. So
yeah, I do recommend it.
It's just that
it's kind of taken a back seat at the moment. Maybe over the Christmas period I'll play a bit more of this.
Don't know how PlayStation 5.
Oh, so don't. They are seemingly popping up with more regularity at the moment.
Yes.
That's because a bunch of them got freighted in.
Yeah.
But look at all the boxes of PlayStations in Heathrow. That's nice and everything. Probably 90% of them are spoken for already.
I was listening to the holiday specials we had last year because I have to prep for this year's holiday specials and decide what we're doing with that. And I can't remember which one it was in, but you went, in 2021, I'm definitely picking myself up a PlayStation 5.
2021 is not over yet.
Mm-hmm. If you happen to have a PlayStation 5 hanging around your house that you don't know what to do with, I'd love to take it off your hands. For no money. It'll be a great deal for me.
I do have my Curry's...
I am.
I do have my Curry's VIP code that no one claimed that isn't a spam bot.
Mm-hmm. It's depressing, though, if you're a VIP in Curry's, though, isn't it? That's slightly depressing.
It basically means if you put in the code, then they'll sell you one.
Right.
and not through the shifty, what was it, Curry's business venture thing that I had to go through and caused me all kinds of nightmares.
Good. That's a cool story, Grandad.
Should we talk about the news?
I think we've kind of got to, because wowza.
Yeah.
Wowza.
Well, we got Activision Blizzard updates, but to kind of add a bit of levity before we get into the nasty stuff, should we just make fun of Bobby Kotick's name?
Nobby Scrote Tick.
Oh, I was thinking Bobby Stroke Dick. That was a pretty good one.
Nice. I know. So I see. We're kind of we're all kind of circling around the same tick dick kind of thing.
Yeah. Oddly enough, though, that's one of the only things I haven't heard him being accused of this week. So
what being a pubic louse, a scrote tick.
Well, that
can confirm he's not an actual pubic louse.
Yes.
Bobby Kotick.
He may be an actual dick, though. So
can he take me to court for calling him a wanker?
Well, I'm not sure
I'd imagine there's a high statistical chance that at some point in his life he has taken Captain Picard to warp speed.
Yes.
Okay.
So I think you're on safe legal grounds there, Coleman.
Yep.
Good. All right, let's do the serious bit now.
Yeah.
Well, someone's got to love him. Self-love is the only option, really, I think, for him.
So there is a bunch of stuff going on with Activision Blizzard.
Yep.
Mostly the big article at the start of the week dropped, which was the Wall Street Journal. And you've looked into this more than I have, Tim, but the kind of the headline is that Bobby Kotick was aware of a lot of the allegations in Activision and seemingly has been covering them up.
Yeah, not only was he aware, but he was actively involved in the covering up of it and the protection of someone, and was well aware that many things were settled outside of court. Also, allegedly, and I think there were some sexual assault allegations as well, but I haven't entirely seen those backed up with actual substantive evidence. I don't know if that's just something I've missed in the mix of everything else I'm looking at. But I did see, and there has been other people talking about the fact that he also, or definitely, left a message where he threatened to have one of his assistants killed, basically. Which, really.
I mean, who among us has not threatened to have someone killed?
I mean, all three of us have threatened to kill each other at some point.
Yeah, but like the message was left.
Tim made me sound like a sniper rifle wielding maniac.
I believe the message was left with her as well. But I mean,
I will say twice a week I do threaten to kill Tim after I get his audio.
There has been a kind of few follow-up things to this as well. Jim Ryan has made a statement saying that he's not happy with the response of Activision Blizzard.
Jim Ryan, as in PlayStation, big person.
Head of PlayStation. And I believe, there was also Kotaku put out an article that went into quite a lot of detail on who the board members are at Activision Blizzard. Not too much detail, I say detail, but mainly details concerning the name of the person who it is and what other boards they are currently serving on. Again, hopefully not on too shaky legal ground here and being a bit flippant and not entirely serious, just to bring some levity to it. But reading through the descriptions of the people and just the boards they're on and what they do as people and stuff, and there was, I think, one, maybe two people from that list that I didn't picture in my head as an actual vampire when reading the description of the person from the stuff they do. And to me, they are literally blood-sucking on the neck of society, these people. But anyway, I don't understand how they have enough time to be on multiple boards for all the things they do. There are, as I said, there's some people there, and you can tell that they spend the rest of their time doing charitable things, and you're like, oh, you're a good person, well done. The rest of those people are just... And these are the people currently making the decision to, and this is part of the other news, stand by Bobby Kotick despite everything that's come up, despite all the allegations, despite threatening to kill someone and settling out of court and all this type of stuff.
So, just to provide a little bit of balance, okay, there's a couple of aspects to this.
Yes.
One, just because they happen to be on a board with Kotick does not necessarily make them as bad as what else is being alleged.
I believe from what I've read as well, Bobby Kotick is also a member of that board, just for record there as well.
No. I know, but I'm just being devil's advocate here. I'm being devil's advocate. The fact... So Bobby Kotick actually didn't report any of these out-of-court settlements to the board, which he should have done.
Yeah.
That being said, their continued inaction is a pretty damning indictment. I don't think they would... I mean, the board have the ability and the power to oust the CEO should the shareholders demand it, or if they decide that his position is no longer tenable.
Some shareholders have demanded it. One of the problems there, and the problems with society in general and the way we've structured things, is Bobby Kotick is one of the major shareholders of the company. That is an inherently massive problem, because Bobby Kotick probably doesn't want to fire Bobby Kotick. Like, I can understand that decision. There's also the other thing that's come up, I think, in the Kotaku article and a few other places, is there is a slight conflict of interest with the length of time that Bobby Kotick has been in the position he is and the length of time that other board members have been in the position they are. And the inherent nature of them knowing each other for a long time and being very comfortable with the position of having earned a hell of a lot of money together, maybe don't rock the boat too much kind of thing. I think this will backfire spectacularly. Their share price is tanking, and it will go up at some stage, but I don't expect that to necessarily happen as quickly as they think it will.
I mean, ultimately, shareholders primarily care about the value of... This is gross overgeneralization, but generally, if the value of their investment is dropping, they are not happy.
But also, will Bobby Kotick care about the value of his investment dropping? No, not really.
Well, because he's got a vested interest in wanting to stay where he is, because he thinks he is the most awesome person on the planet. But B, I mean, I think there's been enough noise made about this that, certainly if I held any stock in Activision Blizzard, which I do not, I would have sold it a long time ago. But I also think that this has now got to the point where it cannot be ignored and should not be ignored. Despite the lip service that we're getting in public-facing statements, again, inaction is as damning as anything else in this particular case. And, when you've got people like Jim Ryan weighing in, clearly they're major stakeholders, and I don't just mean that in the term of stock, people who hold stocks, but people... The relationships with other businesses that are core to their business is starting to fall apart. I cannot see how there is any other option than to jettison Kotick for all kinds of reasons.
All I'm trying to add is today alone, there's been walkouts again at Activision Blizzard.
That's the other thing I was going to add.
And then following that, there's been a group of shareholders that have they've actually called for Bobby Kotick's resignation, along with two other of the board members. To be removed as well. Yeah. And now this one's just come out, over 500 Activision Blizzard employees have petitioned to remove CEO Bobby Kotick. So there's a good chance by the time this episode goes up, he could have announced his resignation.
Yeah. And
if he's got any sense,
can I just acknowledge as well how brave it is for those employees to stand up and be counted in a non-anonymous way. I mean, that, more power to them, and, I ideally hope that the light they're shining on this leads to the right action being taken, because clearly the consistent patterns of reprehensible behaviour that have been alleged cannot continue.
And I think more under Bobby Kotick's responsibility as well, that the definite cover-ups and the knowledge of them. It also came out that he and there was what looked like a quite unhinged email which was attributed to a female executive. And at the time it was said it was very odd, and she resigned, I believe, shortly afterwards, partly because of the media fallout from the response to her letter. It was basically saying that, things have been misrepresented in this article that came out today and all this type of other stuff. But apparently that whole email was authored by Bobby Kotick. It wasn't written by the woman it was attributed to, basically.
Really?
So that's another thing that's just like, what? Like, yeah, as you say, if Bobby Kotick's got any sense, he'll walk away before there's too much light shined on the fact that he is a majority shareholder, and even when he is no longer CEO of the company, will be earning a lot of money from whatever this company profits, basically, whenever this company profits. So I think he loves being in the position that he is. He's clearly an egomaniac and possibly a sociopath as well. And I think there's a very good chance that will entirely... Like, he's rich enough not to care about the financial future of this company. And I think he could very well just... No, I'm the captain. I'm going down with this sinking ship. You can all leave. And all the other rats will just drown with me. Like, I don't care. I could see him doing that.
The likeness is I can fully see in a very, very near future Bobby Kotick either being removed or standing down, but still having his stocks and shares within Activision, getting his golden parachute to leave on, like this little handshake under the table.
And he will get more money than all three of us and everyone listening to this show probably combined in the whole of our lifetimes just to do so. So...
I mean, there is that is very much if the board. I mean, that would have to be approved by the board for a start. And if they let that happen, I think that's very inexcusable. I think there's really now no smoke without fire here. I mean, a lot of this is subject to legal proceedings and establishing exactly what happened. I'm not saying that to imply that it did or did not happen. I'm just saying that, there are no verifiably legal admissible facts that have been put into the legally admissible facts have been put to public domain as yet. However, the breadth and nature and volume of these things, I really think, means it's completely untenable, and for the board of Activision Blizzard to let them continue.
And would say, like, a slight amendment to what you were saying there has been some. Like, I think it's the state of California that have brought some major lawsuits against Activision Blizzard, which are only alleging things at this stage, but have made some fairly major accusations, and you don't do that without a fairly big amount of proof.
That was the first story we read out. When this was all kicking off, that was the alleged frat boy culture and all that stuff.
And so that is out there. If we're going to play slight devil's advocate, would say that most of the things that have been alleged against Bobby Kotick, at least, and the reason why the board are currently maintaining their position is that they say there is no evidence to support the claim that the accusations against Bobby Kotick are true, basically. But I would argue the fact that you have to say he's either asleep at the wheel of a big company when disastrous things are happening below him without his knowledge, and so he should be fired, or he was fully aware of a lot of this behaviour going on and was a complicit part in covering it up and should be fired. Like, there is no way in which...
That's a very Yves Guillemot sounding argument.
Yeah, but there is no... I can't see a way to dodge it other than the fact he's really rich and owns a good proportion of the company and probably doesn't care about the fate of anyone else other than himself. So
totally agree. Yeah, it's interesting to see like how their public responses have changed since the first initial proceedings from the California state law, where their initial statement was to go, well, they're on a witch hunt. They just like trying to shut down big businesses so they can squeeze more money out of them, rah, rah, rah. And then it's gone, oh, actually, we need to implement a zero tolerance policy against bullying in the workplace and sexism and all this kind of stuff. And then the statement this week as well. Yes. So it's slowly
they have
changing.
Said that they don't need to make apply that zero tolerance policy to Bobby Kotick because there's no evidence to support the need to do so. And I'm like,
I fully see Bobby Kotick going, but in the same in the same breath being it. Well, we've solved all our problems. He's out the door. You know, there's going to be a lot more problems to look at rather than just pin it all on the one person.
Absolutely. I mean, I think this is quite clearly, a very embedded reprehensible aspect of the corporate culture that needs to change. And it is going to, you're cutting off the head of the Hydra, so to speak, but you've got to make sure 3 others don't pop up too.
Yeah.
And, this very, making sure that as a company they do the right thing in this acute instance is obviously the correct, but they've got to make sure that it's made quite clear and they take action to stop this kind of behaviour happening anywhere in their company.
I just remembered one other factor, which was one other thing that they did, which was just hysterically like, what are you even doing? They hired someone literally as a diversity hire to make sure they had more female executives, and then hired her at the same position as a co-head as another male counterpart. Didn't offer her the same or give her the same wage, despite her complaining about that fact, until she offered her resignation. What are you doing? How can you not consider the optics of that situation in the current situation you're in? Who is doing this at your company? What's going on?
Again, everything. This is a very reductive way to put it, but people, don't be dicks to each other, okay? Treat everyone with a modicum of respect. Treat people as people. Treat them as individuals. Don't forget the human. No matter who you are, what you do, what you earn, that doesn't make you better than anyone else. So, keep that in mind, behave accordingly, and wash your hands.
Also, I'd like to point out that must be like 12, 15 years ago now, whenever I did my my Sarcastic Gamer comic back in the day.
Never heard of him.
I depicted...
Never heard of it.
In a comedic fashion, but I depicted Bobby Kotick as Satan. So, I think everyone knew he was evil even back then. So, hey.
Wow, Tim, who'd have thought you identifying a fairly indentured, not indentured, wrong word, a fairly well ensconced CEO of a very large company is possibly a little bit evil. So,
did you not see the thing a few years ago where he was complaining in an interview where he said that it's really hard to get dates when women look you up and they just see pictures of you with devil horns and pitchforks and stuff? Because there's apparently, if you type in his name and look on Google Images, it's just flooded with devil Bobby Kotick's. Has been for years.
Yep.
So,
for good
man. So you're telling me he's got to fall back on his chiseled good looks? Is that what you're saying?
I mean, he has got
he's not looking so chiseled these days, my friend.
I know, right? I know, but it always reminds me of the
not to body shame.
The Mrs. Merton interview with Debbie McGee. It's very, very niche UK stuff for those of you listening from Rovers, where she went, so what attracted you to millionaire Paul Daniels?
Right, away from Activision Blizzard onto happier news, although not really that happy because we found out that the Xbox is 20 years old and we all cried.
Yeah.
Do you know what? And I put a note on this on last week's agenda. One of the kind of, fun videos that they put on as part of this was... It was Gen Zers, I think, reacting to the original Xbox, and millennials commenting in shame about how odd they were. Me and Tim are Generation X, okay? We're Gen X. The millennials came after us. That makes us like technological grandparents.
I would like to say we got the best name for any generation out of all the generations. Gen X is definitely the best name.
Break it down.
Just gonna...
There wasn't much to watch with the... I got to admit, I didn't watch that video you sent over, Dan, because I opened it up and it was like, hey, kids react to the Game Boy, like those kind of videos that YouTube used to be flooded with. And I went, I've seen enough of these.
But most of them were losing their over, like, why is this television this big and why isn't it flat? Oh, God.
So the Xbox anniversary celebration, which I don't know if you guys watched the whole thing. I did. I didn't think it was that. There wasn't that much to really check out on the stream. A lot of it
wasn't much to celebrate.
Hey, remember? Yeah, like they just loved showing that clip of The Rock when they launched the thing.
I'd imagine that was fairly expensive to arrange, so they're still getting the return on investment for that. To be fair,
well, they got him back again, so that was probably more expensive.
Yeah.
They did a shameless tie into some Netflix film. I've completely forgotten the name. Red Notice? Red
Yes.
Notice, is that it?
Yes.
That seemed to get cut out on, because I watched it with a bit of a delay, and that seemed to get cut out on the delay. I don't know why.
Maybe that's for the UK. Maybe the competition isn't valid for people in the UK.
Yeah, it kind of it jumped all the Red Notice discussion, then went to the competition bit. But anyway,
maybe. Anyway, different countries get different rules and stuff for advertising and tie-ins and stuff like that. So there you go. So that was one of the things. The other one was there's going to be an Xbox documentary made by Microsoft. So that might be a little bit sugar-coated.
That looked actually interesting, though. Okay, they're not going to get massive negative opinions, but they did talk about the Red Ring of Death, and it does seem like they're going to go into a lot of depth with interviews that you might not have got elsewhere. Basically, that looked entertaining, I have to say.
I mean, I think it will be. Of course, it's going to be a bit sugar coated and viewed through what is going to be a favourable lens. But I think it'll be quite interesting to peel back the layers about, because I think, not only in terms of how the hardware has changed and how they developed these consoles and the challenges they face, but also the way in which games as an entertainment medium have changed, and their acceptance in popular culture has changed in the past 20 years. I think that alone will make it worth watch.
So the big points of note, obviously the Halo Infinite multiplayer dropping, which we've spoken about previously.
Yeah.
There's a Halo TV show, which we've known has been in the works for a while, but that looks like it's going to come out on Paramount Plus sometime in 2022.
Yeah, another streaming service.
Yep.
Can we even get that in the UK yet? I don't even know.
We're going to. They've actually, in preparation for this, they've pulled the latest Star Trek off of Netflix to put on the Paramount Plus streaming service, which will come out after the seasons come out. So it's probably going to get heavily pirated in the UK.
I think they slightly overestimated how much I was tolerating Discovery.
There you go.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Master Chief's going to be Pablo Schreiber, who I've completely forgotten what show he was in. Someone jump in and tell me.
Pablo Show.
Yes, Pablo Show. Why not?
Pablo Show.
But also, Cortana is going to be played by Jen Taylor from the video games, who plays Cortana. There you go. Just in time for them to phase Cortana out of Windows 11.
Yes, indeed. Perhaps
now they've finally
that's
given
why
her...
Windows 11 is causing such problems. She's just gone rampant, finally.
That's it. That's it. They didn't replace her with the more chipper, upbeat AI that they've put in the new Halo game.
Hey, I like the fact I can have Butler as my AI in Halo.
Butler is pretty cool.
I'm going back to. I know I'm going back to something we finished discussing a while ago, but I'm slightly disappointed the rocket launcher is the M47 Spanker. Oh, not really.
Spanker incoming.
Exactly. Yeah. We're better than this, Pete.
Anyway, so what I thought outside of Halo news as the biggest news was an update to backwards compatibility on the Xbox family of consoles, as they call them now. There have been 70 plus games added to the backwards compatibility program, but this has also been marked as the last set of games that will be added to the backwards compatibility program. So if your game that you've been waiting for hasn't been added, unfortunately, it's not going to happen.
It never will be.
Licensing and legal constraints mean that they can no longer add these final games in there, which does mean, sadly, Tim, me and you have copies of The Punisher that we just can't play on our current Xbox systems.
Ah.
Yeah.
I am sad.
Blood in the Sand.
I mean, Frank Castle, 50 Cent. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
So copies of 50 Cent Blood in the Sand are shooting up through the roof, apparently. Because you can't buy it digitally anymore unless you've got an Xbox 360.
Big guns, yeah?
Apparently.
Bang, 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 bang.
Although I'm sure they'll patch that out now that that's become well known. So you have to buy a disc copy of the game. So if you bought an Xbox Series S like me, you're out of luck.
Yeah. That's why I kept
PC
my
However, if you made the financially questionable decision to buy an Xbox Series X, you're golden.
There you go. Well, I know what you're getting for Christmas.
Oh.
Copy of 50 Cent's Blood in the Sand.
Great.
We expect a full podcast dedicated to it some point next year.
Okay. I'll put that on my to-do list right next to spoon my testicles out using a fork.
Anyway, Xbox is 20. Halo was 20. That was the big celebration. There wasn't any really big new announcements of games or anything. But I think they did come out ahead of this a couple of weeks ago and say, we're going to do this stream. We're not announcing brand new games. Don't get too excited. This is a celebration to Xbox.
Yeah.
Which I apparently didn't get the memo and went, where's the games? It's been 20 minutes. Where's the games?
Oh, poor Coleman. But I thought for what it was okay. It was kind of a bit sugar coated, to borrow a phrase from before as well. But it was nice to have a look back over the 20 years of the life of Xbox, and I'm looking forward to that documentary to explore it a bit more as well. So
cool.
Yeah,
cool.
That was all the news. Dan, you got to start the outro bit.
Have I got to start the outro? First up, one quick PSA, something that I actually need to watch. Talking of things being resurrected from the past, Games Master's back.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, with Trevor McDonald.
There was Trevor McDonald, which is a random stroke of genius. I'm expecting it to be moderately terrible, but I will watch with a detached sense of amusement and report back.
Also, G4 TV started back up in America, talking of programs
with Xavier
gaming
Woods
programs restarting. Adam Sessler's back.
I don't know about you, but the Games Master adverts where they've shown Trevor McDonough, they've just made him have a round head. Where's all the metal plates and stuff?
Yeah.
Where's all the cool effects they did in the 90s?
Oh, well, perhaps.
Patrick Moore looks infinitely better.
Yes. Anyway, we probably ought to start getting the devil out here because we've run out of stuff to talk about. We've gone up too long, as per usual. So, Tim, on the spot, Gosh updates, go.
Gosh update. No major updates. And also, I would give a quick mention to Extra Life while that you can still probably donate to streams and stuff for that as well. Extra Life helps raising money for American children's hospitals. There's been people doing their streams for that over the last couple of weeks, so go and donate to that while you still can. If you've missed that entirely, then going forward from here, you could possibly look at Geek Out for Gosh as another way of raising some money for, this time is Britain's Children's Hospital in London, Great Ormond Street Hospital, although I believe it takes patients from all around the world.
It certainly does.
And and it's a great time to raise money for hospitals. Obviously, they really do need the funding, especially as a lot of their ways of raising funds at the moment are limited. One of the things you can do is you can go and stream and try and raise some money as a charity stream. Basically, if you raise £250 or more, you can get yourself a free insert coin pin,
t-shirt,
badge, and t-shirt
and pin.
There are more details of that, and also just how you can do things and how you can link up with Tiltify and a load of other stuff to help you get on with the streaming stuff. You can also just support other people that are doing that, and there are more details on social media channels, Twitter for one, at GeekOut4Gosh, and also on their website, gosh.org, and search for Geek Out for Gosh. Or just Gosh.
I haven't seen a person have a stroke mid-sentence on a podcast before. That was impressive.
I was trying to say it
how
right,
old I am,
I always say it wrong, and then in my
You
head
smell
it was
burnt
coming
toast,
out
Tim.
wrong.
Are you okay?
Mm-hmm.
It's been a long week, month, year, day thing.
Uh-huh.
It's been a rough few days.
Mm-hmm.
Right, so we have people that have been in contact with the show, which you can do yourself over on the comment section of BigRedBarel.com, where we also have a link to our Discord, Facebook.com/BigRedBarel or Twitter.com/BigRedBarel, or if you fancy, YouTube Big Red Barrel TV. All those links are available in the show notes of this here episode, so just scroll to the bottom and there's all little links. Go find us on different places you can. There's certain people have done so, and we're not going to read all the questions on this section of I Have a Question because, frankly, Ed's given us 3, and that's greedy.
Right.
So shame on you, Ed. We'll take the first one. Richard Kirk, he wants to know, Dan, what's your favourite Limp Bizkit album?
My favourite Limp Bizkit album is Results May Vary, which I understand has been universally panned as an album.
It's got 2 good tracks out of, 12?
I'm not going to lie, I might have Googled Limp Bizkit ranking of Limp Bizkit's albums and picked the worst one.
Okay. Tim, let's have your one while we're at it.
no idea, basically. There's the odd Limp Bizkit song that I've liked over the years, but I don't think I've ever sat down and listened to any of the albums. So,
I'm coming around yours with some CDs, my friend.
I might go listen to the first 3 or 4 tracks of the new album, because apparently that's the good bit.
Go listen to $3 Bill, y'all. You should listen to Significant Other. And you should listen to the Chocolate Starfish and the Hot Dog Flavoured Water.
It was that the album that Rolling was on.
That was Chocolate Starfish and the Hot Dog Flavoured Water.
Yeah, so I think that's probably my favourite album, because that's the one that I remember some songs from.
Yeah, I heard you're a big fan of the Chocolate Starfish and the Hot Dog Flavoured Water, Tim.
No.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, loves it. Can't get enough of it.
I'm a fan of neither of those things. Well, chocolate,
Ed
maybe.
says,
but...
With the year wrapping up and most games now released, how do you plan to spend the rest of the year? Finishing off games you started and didn't finish? Picking up the games you missed? Or avoiding games entirely and hibernating from them?
I think working is, it's not the plan I want to go with, but it's the plan that's been thrust upon me.
I likewise. I think I'm going to be lamenting the lack of time I actually have to play games.
Especially as I do want to squeeze some actual online playing of both
Chocolate
Halo
Starfish and the Hot Dog Flavoured Water.
And Horizon, and I've got some Limp Bizkit to listen to while I'm doing it. So, but yeah.
Rolling,
and Limp Bizkit.
Yeah.
For some reason, just show you how ridiculous my mind is. When you said rolling, the tune rather than the rolling one. What came into my mind was
Keep
Tina Turner rolling down the river, which I incidentally would love to hear them
Limp
cover.
Bizkit version of that.
Oh, yes. They do. That's in $3 Bill.
No, it's not.
No, it's a cover of Faith by George Michael.
That I have heard that. That's all right.
Yes.
I do believe is how it goes.
What am I going to do? I do I have to do all the editing and stuff for the end of year shows, which make us seamlessly look like we've not taken any time away when really in reality we're having 4 weeks off. So that's going to keep me pretty busy.
Thanks,
Otherwise, Coleman. I think I'm going to go try and platinum Guardians of the Galaxy, because I looked at the trophy list and I think that would be an enjoyable one to platinum.
Yeah, for me, it's going to be a case of also trying to pick up, possibly on Black Friday on sale, either Riders Republic and Guardians of the Galaxy, and then squeezing that into one of those two to play before my end of the year decisions on Game of the Year stuff and stuff like that. So
I really want to pick up Guardians of the Galaxy, actually. So
I would
probably
suggest Guardians of the Galaxy over Riders Republic.
But
just
then I can't play Riders Republic
Forza
with you, Coleman. You can't have it both ways.
I don't mind.
My aim is hopefully to pick both of them up when they're half price, so that I paid the price of one game to get two by being patient and waiting. Because I couldn't decide between them. My girlfriend's
apparently bought me some games for Christmas, so I can't buy any more games in case I buy the ones she's bought me.
Yep.
So I can't behave myself now.
I mean, God bless her. That's a lovely way to give you a Christmas present you can enjoy. But at the same time, it's like, I really want to buy some video games.
Yeah,
maybe you should just buy terrible games. For comedy value. Just buy terrible video games now, Coleman. And we want to hear your terrible video game of the week. That's what I want to hear.
I don't have a terrible video game of the week,
but you will, because that's what you're going to buy.
Fine.
All right, good.
I did look on. I was looking on the cheapest PS5 games on Amazon, because apparently there are some released PS5 games that no one's ever heard of because they're just that awful looking. And I went, this is where my mind goes when it's like 2 a.m. and I've just finished editing and I'm waiting for things to process. And I went, would it be funny if I just primed one of these over to Tim with no reason? And then I saw the cheapest one was some weird Korean game that was like £14. But for £14, you could buy Mortal Kombat with all the DLC and stuff included for PS5. Oh, and I don't feel like I should waste this money.
Yeah, absolutely.
Anyway.
Absolutely. Right, next
Mild
question.
and Creamy, we see your question. We're just going to avoid it. It's probably going to stir some things up. Stingo, he says, what's your favourite movie that has a pro wrestler in it?
Well, we mentioned it a second ago, probably Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah, Guardians with Batista. I would like to say Randy Savage in the 2002 Spider-Man film.
Spider-Man, Bonesaw is ready.
Yeah, son.
Yeah.
Who basically is just Randy Savage, but he's obsessed with saws for some reason.
See, is the question that has a pro wrestler in the movie being a wrestler, or just a...
Well, if that's the case, I will take the wrestler, because that has a lot of pro wrestlers in the film.
That has a lot of wrestling.
Even though the main guy is not a pro wrestler, playing a pro wrestler.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like a weird reverse of this. I don't know, Mr. Nanny.
Andre the Giant and Conan the Destroyer.
And also...
Princess Bride.
Yes, he's in that as well. Good shout.
Good shout.
Yeah.
Yep.
Santa with muscles.
Although he's not a wrestler in that, obviously. Just a
Suburban Commando.
big dude.
Rocky 3! That's my
Rocky
favourite
3?
film with a wrestler in it. Rocky 3.
Oh, is that the one with...
Hulk Hogan.
Oh, right, yeah. Oh.
Yeah. I didn't say I didn't say favourite wrestler in a film. It's the favourite film that has a wrestler in it. Even though I don't like Hulk Hogan, I love Rocky 3.
Have you noticed that there's a distinct lack of rock films that we've mentioned there, basically?
Well, basically, it's like anything that's been released in the past 15 years has got an above-average chance of having The Rock in it.
Yeah, but we didn't mention any of them, and I can't think. I like The Rock as a person and as an actor, and he is a box office draw to me. And I quite liked Red Notice, even though everyone all over that. It's a fine popcorn movie. I didn't expect much from it, and I got what I expected, kind of thing. But yeah, I can't name a Rock movie that I'm like, that is a great movie that he's in. That is brilliant. What you
got to remember, Tim?
Moana's
a really good film.
Yeah.
What you got to remember, Tim, is The Rock is in Rampage.
Right.
The movie,
and that has an arcade
adaptation
of Rampage
of the video game
in the game.
Yes.
In the movie.
Yeah.
Right.
The bad guys in that film, they have an arcade cabinet of Rampage, but they're making big monsters to fight in this. So are they getting their plot from Rampage? Ed, who's listening to this, is laughing his ass off right now because this is a weird conversation we've had several times.
Also, I'm just going to mention Tropic Thunder just for the comedy value of mentioning Tropic Thunder.
Yeah, good show.
Is that the one with...
not a movie
that was the
that
one with
get
the Hulk
released
Hogan
these days, I get a feeling.
speedboat thing, no?
But not a
Hulk
movie
Hogan
that get
wasn't in
released
Tropic
these
Thunder,
days,
was he?
Tropic
I thought
Thunder,
he
I don't
was.
think.
Not Tropic Thunder. What
No.
am I thinking of? What was the stupid
Thunder
one?
in Paradise.
Thunder in Paradise. That's what I'm thinking of.
Knight Rider on a speedboat.
Yes.
That is one of the best ideas. No, wait, sorry, very quickly. There's an episode of The Simpsons. There's an early episode of The Simpsons where they make a joke of speedboat Knight Rider or something. It's Knight Rider on a speedboat. So someone took that idea and went, we're going to make that, but with Hulk Hogan.
Right, but you can't not do something just because The Simpsons made a joke of it. Otherwise, you literally can't do anything.
You'd have nothing to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
They made a CDI game. One day I'm going to play it. Anyway,
Right.
Sorry, take us home, Dan.
I've officially had enough of this nonsense. Jokes, and we've realised there are approximately 3 million questions remaining from you. We'll get to them at some point. It's not that we don't love you, but I think you've had enough internet attention for one day. Okay, great, fantastic.
But the bad guys had an arcade game of Rampage.
shut
Rampage.
the
in
hell
their office.
While Rampage is going on.
Rampage on the side of it. It wasn't even like it was a game that looked like Rampage.
Right, I will
It
turn this damn
actually said
podcast
Rampage
around.
on the side of the arcade cabinet, Dan.
Are we done? I am,
The
which
Rampage
means you
font
are.
and everything.
Look, I'll tell you what, I'm going to put our volume down a bit. And
All right,
then you
okay,
can,
so
you can wrap
that-
up what me and Tim scream about Rampage.
That is
a bit.
your lot. You've had a wonderful time listening to this nonsense. So
Rampage.
make sure you go to www.BigRedBarel.com, twitter.com/BigRedBarel, facebook.com/BigRedBarel, youtube.com/BigRedBarelTV, and make sure you say hello on our Discord, the link to which is going to be in the show notes this here podcast, and also on the top right corner of our Big Red Barrel website. So thank you ever so much for listening. All that really remains while these two bits are on is to remind you that I have been Dan. Boys, who have you been?
And they had that game in their
He's
office.
been Tim. The other one's been Coleman.
I've been
Thank you ever
Coleman.
so much for listening. And until next time, dear listeners, toodle bye. Jesus.
I had that turned out ready for you to go, and I have been Tim, and then you just carried on talking about Rampage.
are quite welcome. For the podcasting goodness that you just heard, why not roll on over to BigRedBarel.com for more podcasts, news, reviews, and videos from the biggest, reddest site on the internet, BigRedBarel.com.
Still, I'm tuning expecting to listen to the La Bamba or something, or the Gypsy Kings.
Oh, yeah, I'd have that.
That's a classic.
Gypsy Kings aren't even Mexican, they're French.
What?
Yeah.
Really?
This was pointed out to me when I was in Spain.